All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the show. I'm your host, Daniel Cody, giving you commentaries and whatnot, and you know how the intro goes by now. Now, usually I will end the night. I'm here every Friday unless I get sick or something, but usually I end it with Friday Night SmackDown. But an exciting emergency has happened, and that exciting emergency is, as rumored, CM Punk has gone to AEW. And when he got there, he got the loudest pop I have ever heard. Even louder than when WWE fans first came to Friday Night SmackDown. It was thunderous. I thought the whole roof was going to blow off. CM Punk came back to came and he returned to wrestling, but he made his first appearance in AEW, and it had been rumored for weeks that he was coming. And finally, the rumors were made true. He was there. He got the greatest ovation ever. Just blew the darn place off. Now, there was a moment where I was wondering if AJ Lee was going to be in the crowd in the front row seats, and CM Punk was going to hug her because that's his real life wife. But either way, CM Punk is back on wrestling screen, and he did an amazing promo. And it really had me thinking, because he said he did not have time to get into everything, but boy, did he say enough to last almost a lifetime. He really did. He said he'll get into more later, but as far as I'm concerned, he covers so much this very night. And that one mic segment, the first dance, he covered just about everything I needed to know, and which makes me more interested to find out more. But let's just start with the promo. First of all, he greeted the crowd and everything, and he said to everyone who was disappointed, he said, I need you to understand, the reason he stepped out in 2014 was that he needed to get his mental health together. Same thing Simone Biles said, and I said myself in my review on SummerSlam 2004, I had said that mental health is very important. And knowing what happened in the summer of 2007, fun fact, CM Punk was supposed to face the man I'm alluding to, Benoit, who faced Randy Orton in the main event of SummerSlam 2004, and I acknowledged that event as I promised I would. But fun fact, those two were supposed to face off in the summer of '07, but a tragic incident occurred, which I can't really get into, but most of us know what happened. So I went on and I said in a quick disclaimer during the video that mental health was very important. That's why Simone Biles stepped out to get her head together so that she can perform at 100%, both physically and mentally. And I said how mental health is very important. CM Punk said he had to take time off and get himself together mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And he said something that was a bit of a knife cut, but it was still somewhat true. He said, I know you guys want to see me, but I needed to get myself together, and I wasn't going to go back to the same place, and I wasn't going to go back to the same place that made me sick in the first place, alluding, in my personal opinion, to the WWE. Now, I guess for me, I'm a huge WWE fan, but at the same time, I understand that certain environments work for certain people and others work for others. I mean, Mickie James, there were certain things that were done that she didn't agree with, that I personally didn't agree with, including the fact that it was said that WWE shipped her things in a grocery bag, which I think they were wrong for doing that. If they did do that, they were wrong for that, and I have to disagree with that. However, that was very powerful and interesting when CM Punk said, I can't go back to the same place. If I get sick, I can't go back to the same place that made me sick in the first place. So I have to respect that part. Also, he went on to explain, to tell a quick story, a very interesting story about his journey as a wrestler. And it all started when he left Ring of Honor in August 13, 2005. He said he left pro wrestling on that very day and returned on this very night. Now, that had me thinking, and I kind of understand where he came from because I'm not dissing WWE. I do commentary on WWE. I'm a huge WWE fan. But for him to say that, the first thing I thought of was Joey Styles. Another fun fact is that CM Punk had a huge pipe bomb. We all remember the pipe bomb that made him the most popular superstar to all age groups in 2011. John Cena is a favorite to everybody now, but 10 years ago he was a favorite to children and 30% of the adults. He was 100% of WWE children love him, and 30% of the adults liked him, but 70% of all the adults were the ones chanting Cena sucks. So that's why I say CM Punk was popular at the time to every age group, especially the adults, when he made that huge pipe bomb in the summer of 2011. And he became very popular for that. But then he left in 2014, and even when he left, people were still chanting his name in Roman Reigns matches, ironically, and other matches that they found less interesting, especially in Chicago. If you look at any pay-per-view or any WWE event in Chicago, I guarantee you there was a CM Punk chant that was going on. And later on, a couple of years ago, WWE had the nerve, and I'm a huge WWE fan, but I have to disagree with this particular one. WWE had the nerve to do a Best in the World tournament. And Shane McMahon had the nerve to insert himself at the last minute when one of the stars got injured. In fact, there was a particular moment where Shane promoted the Best in the World tournament. We were hoping CM Punk would come back. In fact, there were chants of CM Punk, and Shane McMahon's like, I don't think he's in the tournament. Another crazy ironic fact is Big Show, who is now just Paul White, no more BS, said to CM Punk years ago before he left that when you leave, no one's going to remember you anymore. There's actually a video of Big Show saying that, and then seconds later, there is a compilation of fans chanting CM Punk during matches involving Roman Reigns and other people who WWE fans may not have been that interested in at the time. So, back to the story, CM Punk talked about how he left pro wrestling, which, fun fact, back to the pipe bomb he had delivered in 2011, the only other person to have that much of a great pipe bomb was Joey Styles. Joey Styles alluded to this in the summer of '06, at the same time CM Punk left Ring of Honor to come to WWE on the ECW brand, and he would build his name there, and he would become popular in 2011. But Joey Styles alluded to this when he said he was lectured about the differences between pro wrestling and sports entertainment, and how in WWE, for whatever reason, they're not allowed to call each other pro wrestlers, except Dolph Ziggler did it in SummerSlam 2019 before getting crushed by Goldberg. However, Joey Styles talked about how he's not allowed to say pro wrestling. He has to call everything sports entertainment, and how he was sick of sports entertainment And the fact that he mocks God, he mocks God. I love that part. But CM Punk had already came to WWE at the time. And apparently he wasn't, later on, he wasn't as interested, apparently. So when he left there, he took time to get himself better. He came back to WWE on Fox with Booker T and Renee Young, among others. However, he never got back in the ring. He even went on to say on tweets that WWE was trash for releasing so many superstars. And while I don't know if we're going to have a Friday Night Wars, I do believe if WWE, former WWE stars like Bray Wyatt, Daniel Bryan, among others like Braun Strowman, go to AEW, we WWE gonna have some competition on their hands. But I don't think we should have another one of those rating wars 2.0 like they did back in the 90s. I don't think we need to do that. Last thing we need is for a wrestling company to go out of business. So let's just hope that it never comes to that. But either way, CM Punk said in his promo that pro wrestling to him stopped in '05, even though he was in WWE, which is sports entertainment, and he came back to pro wrestling this year. Also, things got extra exciting when he addressed Darby Allin and Sting, who were all the way in the highest rafters. How did they get up there? How did they get up there is the big question. He addressed them because let's not forget Darby Allin alluded to CM Punk when he said Chicago is a great place to prove you're the best in the world, which of course alluded to CM Punk, which helped the rumors that CM Punk was coming to AEW. And so, of course, he's there. He went to Darby Allin all the way up in the rafters and said, I'll see you on September 5th. And I can't wait to see that. I will personally be watching the match between Darby Allin and CM Punk. And before I go, I gotta say, I really enjoyed watching Darby Allin and Sting team up to defeat 2.0. I really enjoyed the double Scorpion Death Drop and the double Scorpion Lock to 2.0. Both guys tapped out. It was fun to watch. So I'm glad CM Punk is where he wants to be and where he is comfortable. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what happens next. That is the end of tonight. I'll see you tomorrow for a review on SummerSlam. This is going to be an awesome weekend. Good night, folks.